listeners, and welcome to episode 129 of the Nigerian Football Weekly podcast. Me, your host, Oke. Today, I've got yet another bumper episode for your listening pleasure. We're going to be going through a few interesting topics. So, of course, we'll be paying homage to the Nigerian legends who passed away recently in Christian Chukwu and Charles Bassey. I'll also be giving an update on the Unity Cup, which has formally been announced by the NFF, where we'll be playing against Ghana in London. So look out for that. And of course, going through the standout performances and how our players performed in all their various leagues throughout the past week, before, of course, touching on the ones to watch and our Starboys of the week. So without any further ado, what are the main talking points for this week, or the main developments? First of all, I wanted to pay homage to Christian Chukwu, who was the legendary Nigeria captain of the Green Eagles, who won our first ever Africa Cup of Nations in 1980 in Lagos. He passed away over the weekend at the age of 74. So condolences and RIP to him, and we just want to send our condolences to his family. Anybody that's made a telling contribution for the national team is somebody that we want to always celebrate on this platform, and Christian Chukwu is definitely someone who deserves to be celebrated for all his achievements for the national team. If it's not for the likes of Christian Chukwu and Ishego Odegbamis, we will not have the Super Eagles of today. So they must be revered and must be given the respect that they deserve. So he was the captain of the Green Eagles when we beat Algeria 3-0 in the final in 1980. As I said, that was Nigeria's first AFCON victory out of the three that we have in our locker. He earned 54 caps for the Nigerian national team while he was playing, and scored 5 goals between 1974 and 1981. So this is a real legend in playing for the Super Eagles. 1974, how many years ago was that? That's at least 51 years ago, just to tell you how long ago he started his career for the national team. He also enjoyed club success with Enugu Rangers. He played for Enugu Rangers from 1972 to 1981. He won multiple national championships and the African Cup Winners' Cup in 1977. He was also the Super Eagles head coach from year 2003-2005, guided Nigeria to a third place finish in 2004 AFCON. That's one of my favorite AFCONs, watching the Nigeria national team. I remember that's when Odewinge burst onto the scene. That's when JJ Okocha had that tournament where he was the best player for the whole AFCON. We beat Cameroon 4-0. I remember, no, was it Cameroon we beat 4-0? I just remember we came from behind to beat Cameroon 2-1 in the quarterfinals. Okocha scored a free kick. Just a fantastic tournament. So he was the coach in that particular period. He was also an assistant coach for the national team in Nigeria's first under-17 World Cup title in 1985, which we know we have 5 of them. He was also part of the coaching team where we won AFCON in 1994 and qualified for the first ever FIFA World Cup. So he was part of Clemens Westerhof's backroom staff. He was also the head coach of the Kenya national team for 5 years, from 1998 to 2003, and he managed Enugu Rangers in multiple stints. That's clearly the club of his life, including leading them to a 6th place finish in 2008-2009 MPFL season. So just wanted to say RIP to the legend, and may his soul rest in perfect peace. Also, Charles Bassey, also a player who played for the Nigerian national team where we won our first ever Africa Cup of Nations in 1980. He played as an attacking midfielder for Rovers Football Club of Calabar from 1977 to 1979. After he retired from playing, he transitioned into coaching, which included a stint for Aqua United. He was awarded a member of the Order of the Niger, MON, for his contributions to Nigerian football. So clearly someone with a lot of reverence within the game. He suffered a spinal cord ailment following a car accident in 1986, leading to prolonged battle with illnesses. And unfortunately, he did pass away on April 12th, 2 days ago, in Eket, Akwa Ibom State, at the age of 71. I saw some rumors about the NFF still owning Christian Chukwu. If you ask me what I believe it's true, even though they will come and deny that it's not true. But we know how NFF operates. So anyway, I just wanted to add that one. So may Charles Bassey so rest in peace as well. Moving on to the Unity Cup, and the NFF have finally announced the Unity Cup mini tournament, which is taking place in Brentford's Gtech Community Stadium at the end of May. What did they announce? There will be 2 semi-finals. So one will be Nigeria versus Ghana, representing Africa, and then the other one will be Jamaica versus Trinidad and Tobago to represent the Caribbean. And the winner will play each other. The third place teams will then play each other for the third place playoff. We will play Ghana on May 28th, Wednesday, May 28th. Wednesday, May 28th. Get that into your diaries. We will then play Jamaica or Trinidad and Tobago, depending on how we get on in the final or the third place game on Saturday, May 31st. Remember, we played Ghana last year under Finidi George. One of the few games we actually won under Finidi George. We won the game 2-1, courtesy of a penalty from Cyril Desert and Ademola Lookman scoring. It was 2-0 up, and then Ayu scored a late penalty in 95th minute. It's always fun playing Ghana. What can I say? You know, looking forward to the rivalry being renewed, and hopefully Nigeria can at least win this game. I'm still not sure about the FIFA windows and sanctions, or whether this will count towards FIFA games, but let's see what happens. One thing to note is it will give Ejuke time to play with the team and get some more ideas implemented ahead of the crucial World Cup qualifiers taking place in September and October. We still don't know what's happening with South Africa and those potential point deductions. But one thing to mention, if you live in London or the UK, or you live in Europe and you want to come and watch this game, tickets will be on sale tomorrow, Tuesday, April 15th, 5 p.m. British time. 5 p.m. Me, myself, I'll definitely be looking for how I could get tickets. It would be nice to do a bit of a vlog. I said vlog. A vlog for your listening pleasure and watching pleasure. So look out for that game. Quite exciting having to play Ghana. And it's not every day Nigeria play in London. So having the opportunity to go and watch the national team is always something I relish. And hopefully I'll be able to make that game considering work requirements. But yeah, look out for that game. I think I'd rather we play Ghana and Jamaica than play Russia in an unsanctioned FIFA friendly, if you ask me. One thing that's interesting about this is this game is supposed to take place 4 days after the Champions League final. I don't know about player welfare, because these guys should be going on holiday, not having to come and play Ghana and then Jamaica and then play Russia in the space of 2 weeks after their season has ended, when they should be on holiday. You know, something is not adding up there. But anyway, I want to watch Nigeria, so let's see how this game goes. Standout performances to be aware about for the past week. I have to start with our star player, as always, Victor Osimhen. Victor Osimhen bagged his 21st league goal of the season for Galatasaray on Friday night in a 2-0 victory over Samsunspor away. One thing to note, he's now up to, as I said, 21 league goals for the season, so he's the top goal scorer. Fantastic performance from Victor Osimhen. It's literally just carrying Galatasaray on his back. Yes, his teammates are doing well because they've only lost one league game all season. But when you need those crucial goals, when you look at a team like Arsenal in the Premier League with 12 or 13 draws in the league all season, you then realize the value of marksmen, people that can put the ball in the back of the net for a reason. And we know Osimhen does that better than almost anybody. In fact, watching the goals for Galatasaray, the first goal, Osimhen took a shot, the defender blocked it with his head, and then it landed to his teammates, who then fired the ball into the top right corner to make it 1-0. So even though he didn't get the assist, he was very crucial in that goal being scored. And the second goal, which he then scored, was classic Osimhen centre forward play. He bent his run to beat the offside trap line, got played in nicely by number 11, and just scooped the ball over the goalkeeper. Fantastic finish, and look, long may it continue, you know. The Turkish league title is going to go down to the wire. There's 7 games left, and Galatasaray are 3 points ahead of Fenerbahce. Mourinho's team have the better goal difference at the moment, plus 47, while Galatasaray's goal difference is plus 42. Those two are by far the best teams in Turkey. But more crucially, Galatasaray have 3 points ahead of Fenerbahce, and they also have the tiebreaker ahead of Fenerbahce because they beat Fenerbahce 3-1 away last September, and then followed up with the 0-0 draw in Galatasaray's home stadium. So in Turkey, they don't look at goal difference before head-to-head. So that means that realistically, Galatasaray will need to lose one and drop more points. So you need to drop at least 4 points, and hopefully that will not happen because no one Mourinho winning over our star player. We need Osimhen to go there, win the Turkish title, live a legend, and come to the Premier League for serious business. So hopefully he'll be able to continue the amazing form for the last 7 games. He's got a Turkish Cup semi-final to play soon. But apart from the Turkish Cup and the league games, he has nothing else to worry about. No Turkish team is in Europe, so he could literally leave Turkey with a double. One season, double. Just be stacking all these league titles and let's be moving. Ijaya Olusosun. So shout out to Victor Osimhen for an amazing performance over the past week. David Okereke was also in action over the week and had a good performance for Gaziantep. He got an assist in their 2-1 win over Hatayspor on Sunday. Gaziantep won the game 2-1 and are now in 7th place in the Turkish league. This was a bit of a weak week in terms of our players scoring goals, so we have to highlight some of our good defensive performances or other kind of performances where we see them. I also wanted to give a big shout out to Bruno Onyemaechi, who now finds himself being a Greek league champion. You know, I was always talking about how I didn't want this boy in Boavista, and you know, the Greek league is not the strongest, but Olympiacos are one of the best in fact, the best team, if not one of the best teams in the league. And they've proved it again because they've just clinched the Greek League title. Last year, they won the Conference League. So this is a team with a winning culture. Their owner is the owner of Nottingham Forest. So you never know what this could mean for Onyemaechi's career. But what I particularly liked is he started the game over the weekend as they got a clean sheet to beat AEK Athens 1-0. There's 3 games to go and they're 10 points ahead, which is why they've clinched the league title, because even if they lose all 3 games, no team can catch up to them. And really nice to see Onyemaechi gradually cementing his place in the starting lineup for Olympiacos. Some games doesn't start, but he always comes on. But at least this last game, he definitely started and made a telling contribution. Also, I wanted to shout out Balogun for his Europa League performance on Thursday. Rangers were at home at Ibrox against Athletic Bilbao. Athletic Bilbao are one of the best teams. I think they finished first or second in the group phase of the league. Also, if you look at the La Liga table right now, Athletic Bilbao are on course to make the Champions League. They're currently 4th. Rangers were playing at home against Athletic Bilbao, and they had Leon Balogun's defensive partner, Robin Proper, got a red card in 13th minute for denying a clear goal scoring opportunity. Rangers had to play with 10 men for almost the whole match. And Leon Balogun and co kept the clean sheet. Really, really stellar defensive performance from Leon Balogun and his teammates. I just wanted to shout that out considering how good Athletic Bilbao are. And imagine if they can now go to Bilbao and somehow get a win. It will be tough though, because Athletic Bilbao have an emotional connection to the Europa League this year, because the final will be played at San Mamés, which is their home stadium. So even though it's unlikely for Rangers, at least they've given themselves a fighting chance. So long may that continue, and let's see how the second leg gets on Thursday. Also, I want to shout out Kevin Akpoguma. He played, we know our centre-back Wahala. I don't know why they don't want to call up this boy. He played 90 minutes for Hoffenheim, kept the clean sheet in a 2-0 win over Mainz. Mainz are going for the Champions League, by the way. This is how tough this win was. So it's like imagining beating like Newcastle right now in the Premier League. You can't really say it's not a good result. I don't care who you are. So shout out to Hoffenheim. Gift Orban did not play in this game, but Akpoguma was fantastic in this game. Great defensive display, won most of his duels in this game and made 9 clearances in the game. So really, really fantastic performance from Akpoguma and his teammates. And finally, I wanted to shout out a rising star. He was part of the under-20 team last year, Captain Daniel Daga. He scored for Molde over the weekend in a 7-0 win over Elneswagen. It was the Norwegian Cup first round, so that's probably why he started the game. But I'll be intrigued to see if he continues to start in the league games to follow. But at least he got his name on the score sheet in a resounding 7-0 win, which is always something to shout about. If you've made it this far, I wanted to first of all say big thank you. Thanks for all the support, all the love, all the comments. We see everything, we look everything. We do not take anything for granted. We're just trying to do our little bit to boost Nigerian football in all areas of the world and just promote how much we love our Super Eagles and how we're a big boy team and we should do what we need to do. So I just want to shout out all the listeners, all the viewers. If you're looking at this, please like, share, and subscribe to this channel. Please give the video a thumbs up if you like the content. It helps the algorithm and just helps our visibility. If you love the content and you want to continue to watch, please make sure you subscribe. We also break down every episode into smaller clips. So if you're someone who doesn't want to watch a 20 to 30 minute long video, you could watch the little clips where we talk about all the different elements that go on in this podcast. So I just want to say a big thank you to everybody. Please continue to run it up, like, share, and subscribe. Going on to the final player reviews, just as we usually do, starting with the Premier League. Taiwo Awoniyi and Ola-Aina both missed Nottingham Forest's 1-0 loss to Everton over the weekend. This was a smash and grab by Everton. They scored a last-minute goal by Abdoulaye Doucouré. Fantastic finish, it must be spared by Doucouré though. But this Nottingham Forest Higi Haga performances since Ola-Aina has been injured. Very interesting. 2 losses on the bounce. And if they're not careful, they might just lose out on their Champions League spot. So they really, really, really need to fix up. I'm not sure where Ola-Aina's fitness is for their next game, which will be next week, Monday. 1 week from today. I'm recording this on Monday night here. But they play Tottenham away. If there's one team that you would have to consider an opportunity to flog, is Tottenham right now, because they're so rubbish. So you'd hope the Nottingham Forest can dust themselves up. I think Chris Wood will also be back in action, so that should boost their chances. And they just need to get over the line, man. Just win some of these games. 5 games to go. Or is this 6 games to go? Sorry, 6 games to go. just find a way to win 3 of these games. Nottingham Forest, please. I want to watch your line in the Champions League. What a lovely story that would be. But it was not their best performance over the weekend. But we wish our Nigerian players speedy recovery so that they could play. Monday Night Football ended earlier today. We saw Alex Iwobi and Bassey both play 90 minutes. But unfortunately, Fulham lost 1-0 to Bournemouth away. Antoine Semenyo scored a fantastic goal after 52 seconds. Thierry Henry and Jamie Carragher were talking about the analysis of Monday Night Football. Fantastic finish for Antoine Semenyo. One of the things to highlight is because he's a 2-footed player, it makes it really tough for defenders to guess which way to go or which way to show him onto, because he's equally adept at using either foot, and he stroked it in beautifully with his left foot, placed it past Meleno. Fantastic finish. It looks like Fulham's Champions League hopes are in tatters, but there's still a race for that 7th Premier League spot. Now, as we said last week, 5 teams in the Premier League will get Champions League spots next year, which means 2 teams will get Europa League spots, or 1 at least. So 6th place will be guaranteed a Europa League spot, and then 7th will be guaranteed a Conference League spot. So for teams like Fulham, Bournemouth of the world who don't play in Europe very often, you have to admit this is a big opportunity for them, because they're even likely to potentially be one of the favourites. So look out for that, and the Fulham boys still have something to play for, even though they're currently 9th and they missed out on a huge opportunity to push towards the Champions League spots with their loss today. As for Wolverhampton Ndidi, Leicester City's season is just pouching out. One positive is they finally scored 2 goals in a game. They had not scored in their last 8 games, but they drew 2-2 to Brighton away, which was a pretty impressive result considering how useless they've been. But they are doomed for relegation, and I think the relegation should be confirmed next week or the week after. They play Liverpool at home on Sunday, so who knows? That relegation may even be confirmed this weekend, because they have 18 points. West Ham have 35 points, which means they're 17 points behind West Ham, who are 17th. So as long as they don't win this weekend, they're definitely going to be confirmed as relegation fodder. So bye-bye to them. Honestly, they've stunk up the place so badly. It's been a shame. And I hope Ndidi is planning to move, because, man, you can't be doing this, man. Like, I'm sorry, not at this stage of your career. You've already done all the hard work. Why do you want to continue remaining in relegation battles? So let's watch out for what happens with Ndidi. As for Southampton boys, Aribo was no new sub, while Onuachu played 45 minutes as they got thrashed 3-0 by Aston Villa. We already know Southampton have been confirmed as relegated. Honestly, left to me, if they were not Nigerian players, I won't even mention Southampton. That's how useless they've been. They still need 2 points to make sure they're not as bad as Derby County for the worst ever Premier League side. That's how horrible Southampton have been. Next up for them, they play West Ham away. So look out for that game, but they'll more than likely lose that game. Other results in the Premier League to be aware about: Man City beat Crystal Palace 5-2 in the early kickoff on Saturday. Kevin De Bruyne looked like Kevin De Bruyne from 2 years ago in that game, it must be said. I already mentioned the ones involving our players, but Arsenal drew 1-1 against Brentford. Honestly, I don't want to talk about Arsenal and Premier League. Madrid, we're coming to find you on Wednesday. Don't worry, all these your PR results about motivational speech, Bernabeu, this one, that one, we're coming. Don't worry. I know that Tella got the nastiest low block waiting for you guys, so just watch out for that. And then on Sunday, we saw Chelsea draw 2-2 at Stamford Bridge against Ipswich Town. Terrible result for them, but they're still in the hunt for the Champions League spots. Wolves beat Tottenham 4-2. I mean, it's Tottenham. What else can we say there? Cunha, what a player. Liverpool beat West Ham 2-1. West Ham equalized in the 86th minute, but Van Dijk made up for his mistake by scoring a header in the 87th minute, even though I think it should have been a foul for Paqueta, but hey, PG O'Mel. Newcastle United thrashed Man United 4-1. Really, really impressive performance from Newcastle. Man United just stink up the place, man. Any Man United fan watching this, you deserve it. You guys are horrible. You're a disgrace to the top 6 and the top 4 before, and the top 2 when it was Arsenal and Man U. You guys to clown Arsenal when we're finishing 8th. And there's Manchester United in 14th place. Tottenham in 15th place after 32 games played. Nah, man, you're smelly, man. You're a disgrace to what it means to be a big club, I'm telling you. Just awful. And then, of course, we know that Bournemouth beat Fulham earlier today. Fixtures to be aware about in the next round of fixtures in the Premier League. Brentford hosts Brighton in 3 p.m. kickoff. There's no early kickoff on Saturday, so it's we've got about 4 3 p.m. kickoffs. Brentford hosting Brighton, West Ham hosting Southampton, Everton hosting Man City at Goodison Park, and Crystal Palace hosting Bournemouth. Late kickoff game on Saturday, we'll see Aston Villa host Newcastle. That should be a very, very tasty game because both teams are fighting for Champions League places. On Sunday, we will see Arsenal go away to play Ipswich Town. If Arsenal lose this game somehow, then Liverpool will get the chance to clinch the league title when they play Leicester City in the 4:30 p.m. kickoff on Sunday. Man United host Wolverhampton at Old Trafford at 2 p.m. as well, and Fulham host Chelsea at 2 p.m. at Craven Cottage. You have to say, considering the form, it will not be surprising if Wolves beat Man United and if Fulham beat Chelsea, but look out for those games. Premier League table, Liverpool are on the verge of the league title, 13 points ahead of Arsenal with 6 games to go. So they need 2 more wins to clinch the title. Arsenal have a 6-point cushion in second place. And then you then have a cluster of 5 teams all separated by 3 points. Starting from Nottingham Forest in third place on 57 points. Newcastle with 56 points. Man City on 55, and then you have Chelsea and Villa on 54 points. So you can basically say there's 5 teams fighting out for 3 spots, and 2 teams will be unlucky to miss out on these positions. And whoever misses out on those positions, at least there's consideration of Europa League. So hopefully Chelsea will be one of those teams, just for bad belly reasons. I already told you about Man United and Tottenham, Dom and Dumbar, 14th and 15th. Imagine Everton are already above them. Everton that hired David Moyes in December to save them from relegation are now above Man United and Tottenham. What a disgrace to the Premier League. And then Wolves and West Ham of 35 points. And then we have the worst ever set of relegated teams this season. All 3 teams promoted. Hall of shame. 21 points, 18 points, and 10 points. Ipswich are 18th and they're 14 points behind West Ham. That's how shit these teams have been. And honestly, if West Ham win on the weekend and Arsenal beat Ipswich Town, it means Ipswich Town and Leicester City will both be confirmed relegated by this weekend, which is very, very likely to happen. So that's it in terms of the Premier League. Just to swiftly run through, because I know I've gone quite a bit on the Prem. I know Nigerians love Prem the most anyway, which is why I do this. But anyway, Serie A, Lookman and Atalanta got back to some much needed wins. They beat Bologna 2-0 on Sunday. Very important win for them. Great finishes by Retegui and Pasalic in this game. Retegui was fantastic. Lookman played 81 minutes, but it wasn't necessarily his best game. But Atalanta just needed to win this game by any means, so they've consolidated third place in Serie A. Next up for them, they'll play some of Chukwueze's AC Milan away on Sunday. And let's be honest, Atalanta are the favourites for that game because Milan just stink up the place. Speaking of AC Milan, Chukwueze was on the bench for Milan in their 4-0 win over Udinese on Friday, so he was an unused sub. That just tells you the situation Chukwueze is on. Let's see if he plays any minutes when they play Atalanta. Also, Maduka Okoye was involved in that game for Udinese. He made 3 saves, but of course his team got absolutely destroyed. Not a nice feeling to concede 4 goals, but hey, the game is the game. Next up for Maduka, they played Torino away on Monday. Also, I wanted to shout out Dele-Bashiru for Lazio. He was initially involved to play 45 minutes as Lazio lost 2-0 to Bodo Glimt in their quarterfinal of the Europa League on Thursday away, and then he played 79 minutes on Sunday in the Rome derby as Lazio drew 1-1 against Roma. Lazio looked like they were on course to win this game, and then Roma scored an absolute screamer by Matthias Sule. One of those balls that hits the bar, it just goes over the line and then comes back out. It's almost like Zidane's penalty goal in the 2006 World Cup final. So unlucky there. But let's see if Fisayo will play and can be able to inspire his team to turn around the 2-0 deficit against Bodo Glimt on Thursday. You have to say Lazio are favourites, but Bodo Glimt are a very, very good team. And man, they leave no prisoners everywhere they go. They're coming for blood. So Lazio have to find it in them somehow to claw back that 2-goal deficit at home, and then we'll see what happens. Also, after that game, he played Genoa away on Monday night. So let's see if Visaya can start some of these games. In the Bundesliga, Victor Boniface played 60 minutes. Leverkusen drew 0-0 against Union Berlin. Nathan Tella started but came off at halftime due to an injury. Hopefully it's nothing serious. The very disappointing game for Leverkusen. I mean, they keep failing to take advantage of Munich dropping points. Bayern Munich drew 2-2 against Borussia Dortmund over the weekend, but yet again, Leverkusen have been unable to capitalize. They're kind of like Arsenal this season, but not as bad in the league. We're 13 points behind Liverpool. They're only 6 points behind Bayern Munich. But Bayern Munich are going to win the title for sure. Leverkusen they're just missing that final instinct that they need to get off the line in this game, especially with Florian Wirtz being injured. It's not the easiest of times for them. But hopefully they could bounce back when they play St. Pauli away on Sunday. Onyeka, on the other hand, played 90 minutes as Orban got back to winning ways after their loss against Bayern Munich. They beat Bochum 2-1, comfortably 10th in the league. Next up for them, they play Eintracht Frankfurt at home. That's going to be a tough game because Frankfurt are currently 3rd in the Bundesliga. And also, I've already spoken about Kevin Akpoguma and the Hoffenheim boys. Hopefully we'll see Gift Urban get some minutes in the next game when they play Freiburg away on Saturday. Freiburg are another team pushing for European places, so that's going to be a tough game. But at the very least, Hoffenheim have pushed themselves further away from the relegation zone, which is always handy and good to see. In La Liga, I got to start with Omar Sadiq. He played 60 minutes as Valencia beat Sevilla 1-0. Fantastic result for Valencia. They're now 8 points clear of the relegation zone after 4 wins and a draw in their last 5 games. Very, very impressive considering that they were dead last at the start of the year, this calendar year. When they signed Omar Sadiq, they were 20th. So to go on that impressive run of form and just be swatting away these wins is really, really impressive, even though Sadiq did not score over the weekend. Next up for them, they play Rayo Vallecano away on Saturday. Speaking of Sevilla, Ejuke played 24 minutes in that Sevilla 1-0 loss to Valencia, while Akko Adams is injured and he might be out for the season depending on how his recovery goes. Let's see if Sevilla can have better times when they play Deportivo Alaves at home on Sunday. As for Cristiano's Uche, he played 66 minutes for Getafe. It was not their best outing. They lost 3-1 to Las Palmas. Las Palmas are fighting for their life. They're currently in the relegation zone, and that was their first away win of the calendar year. And I have to say, Fabio Silva was very impressive when I watched the goals that he scored in this game. They really got packed in, to be honest. But Getafe, dust yourself up and go again, Just charge it to the game, and let's see how they get on when they play Espanyol away. In France, Georges Enkena played 5 minutes for Monaco and they're 3-1 over Marseille. I don't know why he's not getting in as meaningful minutes anymore, but good win for them, so they remain second, which gives them a great chance of getting the Champions League spot. When Monaco signed Mikaberev, the former Arsenal academy striker, I think that's pushed Enkena down in the pecking order a little bit, but hopefully he could get some more minutes between now and the end of the season. Simons Nons did not play any game over the weekend, but next up for them, they play Rennes away. As for Chuba Akpom, he played 27 minutes for Lille as they beat Toulouse 2-1 on Saturday to maintain their potential hopes for a Champions League spot. Next up for them, they play Auxerre at home on Sunday. As for Auxerre, Gabriel Ocho missed their 3-1 loss to Lyon on Sunday due to a knee injury which will keep him out until next month. So it's unlikely he will play that game against Lille, but of course we'll continue to monitor his recovery. Hamza Ojediro, on the other hand, for Lens, played 13 minutes as they lost 2-0 to Reims on Friday. So not the best result for them, but next up for them, they play Brest away. Speaking of Reims, Hafiz Ibrahim played 45 minutes in that 2-0 win over Lens on Friday as they move closer to safety. They're now 15th, which gives them a bit of a cushion over the 3 teams in the relegation zone in France. Next up for them, they play Toulouse at home on Sunday. Also, good to see Terry Murphy continue to get minutes as he steps up his recovery from injury. He played 14 minutes as Nice drew 2-2 to Strasbourg on Saturday. Let's see if he can get some more meaningful minutes when they play Angers at home on Sunday. In the Turkish League, I already spoke about Victor Osimhen's amazing exploits as the league title is very finely poised. Next up for them, they play Bodrum at home this Friday. So let's see if Osimhen continues excellent form. As for Fenerbahce, Osayi-Samuel did play 90 minutes and got a yellow card as they beat Sivasspor 3-1 on Sunday. So Fenerbahce would of course fancy their chances with 7 games to go and being 3 points behind. Good to see Osayi-Samuel back in the starting lineup, and let's see if that continues when they play Kayserispor at home on Sunday. Anthony Dennis for Godsepe played 90 minutes as they lost 1-0 to Konyaspor on Saturday. Next up for them, they play Turkish giants Besiktas at home, managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer for any Man United fans watching this. So let's see if they could do damage against Besiktas. And of course, I spoke about David Okereke's exploits already for Gaziantep. Next up for them, they play Istanbul Başakşehir away on Sunday. In the Portuguese leagues, just know Zedu Sanusi is not playing against Porto. Let's leave it at that. He was on the bench in their 1-0 win on Saturday against Casapia, and it's unlikely he'll get minutes against Famalicão on Friday, but watch this space. We'll be monitoring closely. In the Belgian First Division, Tolora Godare played 76 minutes while Girasol played a few minutes as well as Genk lost 1-0 to Club Brugge on Sunday. Next up for them, they play Union Saint-Gilloise on Sunday, 3 p.m. Remember, the Belgian League has now broken out in the Championship round, Relegation round, and Conference League round, which means the best 6 teams play each other 5 times. No, the best 6 teams play each other twice. So 1 each, 1 home, 1 away, which means they play 10 games. At the moment, 4 of these games have been played, so there's 6 games to go. Unfortunately for Genk, by losing this game to Club Brugge, they're now just 1 point ahead of Club Brugge, who are second. So it's really keenly poised with 6 games to go. So if you're Club Brugge and Rafael Yedika, you're going to be feeling pretty good about yourselves. You know, he played 84 minutes, of course, in that 1-0 win over Genk. Next up for them, they play Ghent away on Sunday, who are one of the worst teams of the top 6. So Club Brugge, we fancy their chances. We know how they did in the Champions League, going out in the round of 16. They're the current Belgian champions, and they will fancy their chances because they've been there and done that already. So watch this space. Should be a very interesting battle between Arokodaris and Girasol's Genk versus Rafael Yedika's Club Brugge. And also watch this space for the summer, because I have a feeling that this summer might be time for Yedika to make that next step up into one of the big leagues and for a very, very good team, because I think there's a superstar player in there. Finally, Ghent's Jonathan Origa played 90 minutes as Ghent beat Royal Antwerp 1-0 on Sunday. They'll be playing Club Brugge over the weekend, but they're a bit too far behind to challenge for the first, second or third spots. So it's pretty much a 3-team horse race between Genk, Club Brugge and Union Saint-Gilloise for the title. So watch this space. In Greece, we already spoke about Bruno Onyemaechi's exploits in them clinching the Greek League title. Let's see if he could maintain his starting spot as they play AEK Athens again away on Sunday. 3 games to go, but they've already clinched the title. So shout out to Olympiacos and congratulations for winning the Greek title yet again. In Scotland, I already spoke about the boys' exploits, Leon Balogun, especially against Athletic Bilbao. Cyril Dessers also played 85 minutes in this game and put in a work-like performance because they played with 10 men for the whole game. Over the weekend, we saw Dessers play 15 minutes and Balogun was not in the squad as Rangers drew 2-2 against Aberdeen. They are also doing a championship round format like Belgium, but Rangers are a bit too far behind to really challenge Celtic, in my humble opinion. But let's see how they get in the Europa League, where they have the great opportunity to face Athletic Bilbao in that away tie on Thursday. As for Daniel Daga, I also spoke about him scoring for Molde. Next up for his team, they play Bodo Glimt, who are the undisputed giants of Norway. So this should be a very, very good test for Daniel Daga, and hopefully he could get some minutes on Monday when they play them. Also, Starinabalis Chippa United were not in action over the weekend, but next up for them, they play Kaiser Chiefs at home on Saturday. Starboy of the week. Bronze medal, I have to give it to Leon Balogun. We already shouted out his performance earlier, but when you keep a clean sheet for Rangers while playing with 10 men for 77 minutes against Athletic Bilbao with their star players, Nico Williams, Inaki Williams, Oyan Sanchete, like, what a wonderful, wonderful result for Rangers. Yes, it's going to be tough in the second leg, but Leon Balogun already showed his credentials for the team in that first leg by helping to keep a clean sheet with 10 men for 77 minutes. So he gets the bronze medal. Silver medal. It's not every day you win a league title, especially the first of your career. I was lamenting that I was playing for Boavista, and now God has changed his life and buttered his bread. It was not quite Todd Boehly like he had hoped for, but Angelos Marinakis is also a cheerful giver. And if you play well enough, you never know, you might end up moving to Nottingham Forest. So I want to shout out Bruno Onyemaechi for winning the Greek League title this weekend for Olympiacos. They beat AEK Athens 1-0 to clinch the title, and it's the first trophy of his career. So congratulations, Bruno Onyemaechi. Gold medal, Ijaya Lushosun. Star player of Nigeria, star player of any club he plays for, top 3 strikers in the world as far as I'm concerned, Victor Osimhen. Yet again does it for his club, Galatasaray. Tough away game on Friday night under the lights. Gets involved in the play that leads to the first goal for Galatasaray with his block shot dropping for his teammate to fire into the net. And then second goal, just fantastic Osimhen football. Literally timed his run to perfection, got released by his teammates, played a delicate, not really chip, but just lifted the ball over the goalkeeper straight into the back of the net, took off his mask as usual, and just, savored in the praise and the glory for being the star player once again. So you, Victor Osimhen, you're my star boy of the week. Keep shining and making us proud. We love to see it. And finally, to round up the podcast with the ones to watch for this week, starting with the Europa League ties on Thursday. Dele-Bashiru's Lazio needs to turn over a 2-goal deficit against Balogun in the Europa League quarter-final, second leg. And also, we'll see Serie and Balogun in action for Rangers away against Athletic Bilbao. Finally poised at 0-0, but remember I said Athletic Bilbao are hosting the final of the Europa League, so they have extra ginger. But hopefully, Rangers will be able to succeed just for the sake of our Nigerian boys. In league action on Friday, we'll see Victor Osimhen's Galatasaray at home against Bodrum, 6 p.m. Bodrum is a good holiday destination for what I've heard, in case there's anybody looking to go to Turkey. And then we'll see Getafe's Kristatos Uche play away against Espanyol, 8 p.m. kickoff. I know both of these games will be on Nigerian TV, so no excuse not to watch. On Saturday, Omar Sadiq's Valencia hosts Rayo Vallecano, 1 p.m. kickoff. And then Southampton's Aribo and Onuachu will be hosting Aston Villa at St. Mary's in the Premier League tie. On Sunday, we'll then see Bassey and Alex Iwobi's Fulham up against Chelsea. Sorry for you Chelsea fans. It's very unlikely you're going to win this game. Let's be honest. Very, very unlikely. And then we'll see Wilfred Ndidi's Leicester host Liverpool, who have a chance to get closer to that league title, which will be their 20th league title ever, their second Premier League title since the rebranding of the Premier League, and that will put them level on titles with Manchester United on 20 in the history of England. I have to mention Arsenal were third, sure, we have 13, but sizable lead, but we'll get there one day, starting from next season. And then finally, Samuel Chukwueze Similar will be hosting Ademola Lookman's Atalanta at San Siro, 7:45 p.m. kickoff. And then if Ola Aina and Taiwo Awoni are fit, they will be involved in Monday Night Football this time next week as Nottingham Forest go away to play Tottenham. So that's it for this episode of the podcast. Thanks again for rocking with me. A bit of a chunky one, but we got to bring these updates. We got to talk about Nigerian players and talk about the Unity Cup, talk about the legends that have passed away, and also standout performances for the week. I'm very excited about the Unity Cup. I must say, I'll be looking out, see if I can get my hands on some tickets tomorrow, so I just know that I'll be able to go depending on timing and scheduling. But look out for that one. If you live in England or Ireland or near England, or you be around in summer, make sure you get your bum down to the Gtech Community Stadium, which is Brentford Stadium, to watch the Super Eagles of Nigeria play against our friendliest of foes, Ghana. We love Ghana as always. Looking forward to that game, which should be a tasty one. Remember, we're Nigeria Football Weekly on all social media channels except Twitter, where we're at NFWPOD. Thanks again for all the love for the love. I appreciate every single listener. Enjoy all the football to come this week. And I know it's not exactly Nigeria specific, but if you're an Arsenal fan, don't worry, we got this. Madrid, Alma, if you like, go and do juju from anywhere you like. Remontada this, so hallelujah that. Don't get me wrong, I'm a bit concerned, but a 3-0 lead, I'm feeling comfy. So looking forward to Arsenal winning that tie on Wednesday night at the Bernabeu. Until next time, I'll be your host, Oluoke. Take care, enjoy the football coming this week, and I'll see you in next week's episode. Ciao, ciao. Thanks for watching this video. Please like, share, subscribe, and click the bell to get a notification whenever we drop a video. You can also find our social media channels listed below. And of course, up Super Eagles and Nigeriano they ever carry last.